Hi everyone! So this is my update post explant. I am 10 and a half months post explant. So had my breast implants removed January 25th of 2017 and it's now middle of December. So I have been meaning to do an update a lot sooner, but you know how things are when you're moving and have kids in life. So anyway, but I thought it would be good anyway to kind of give myself more time after healing to really see how things healed and what things are like now that the implants are out. So first of all, I'm going to start with like just a quick history about why I had the implants. I got my first set of breast implants in September of 2013. I had silicone. I think they were like the gummy bear kind, you know, the kind that's not supposed to leak. So they were put in, and I actually had it was an NPC bikini show 8 weeks later. So that was really, really soon after, but my surgeon said it was okay. I didn't lift before he told me it was okay. I followed all of his instructions, did all the massaging, everything you're supposed to do. My implants were under the muscle. One thing that I noticed immediately after getting the implants was how difficult it made, how difficult and awkward it felt when I was lifting weights in the gym. So I was no longer able to do pull-ups without having this really strange sensation like the implants were gonna pop, like my chest muscle was pulling down on the implants, and I hated that feeling. And then I couldn't do any sort of chest exercise. My surgeon recommended never doing any chest exercises ever again, basically. Or if I did, just very, very, very lightweight. And I didn't like not being able to do chest exercises. I felt like it was starting to make me imbalanced. Like my front delts were getting a lot weaker from not being able to do like the pushing motions, the chest exercises. Overall, I really, like every time I would do any sort of back exercise, I could feel the implants, and I did not like that. Another thing that I didn't like about having implants is that I felt like they made me look bulkier, like they made me look fatter, and not like they actually made me look fatter, but just I felt like having a bigger chest made me look less athletic, and just made me look bigger than I really was. So that was some things I didn't like about the implants. So within about probably 3 months post explant, I could tell that there was probably something that was wrong about the implants. They were hard and they were high. I was expecting them to be a lot softer, and I was expecting them to be a little bit more normal level, and everyone just said, oh, don't worry, your implants just haven't dropped yet. And so I kind of just kept being patient, and then finally, I think it was 8 or 9 months after having the implants put in, I went back to my surgeon, and he confirmed that I had something called capsular contracture, and it's something that needed to be surgically fixed. So we did a revision surgery where he took the implants out, removed all of the scar tissue that had been building up around my implants, making them so hard and painful, and put new implants in. And within 6 weeks after the second surgery, we realized that it was happening again. So my body was rejecting the implants, forming too much scar tissue around each implant, and one of them was even like deformed. So different, like, you know, the shape was not normal. They were getting hard, they were painful. Again, I was using all the precautionary methods that the surgeon had instructed me to use. I was even taking a medication called Singular to help your body to not build up scar tissue and to like kind of almost lower your immune system slightly. So I did that, and I was taking the antibiotics after each surgery. But so 6 weeks after that second surgery, we saw that it happened again. So at this point, I was like, okay, this is stupid. I shouldn't even have these implants, and I was thinking about just getting them removed. But I had a heart-to-heart with my surgeon, and he said that he had seen some women who it's like their body just needed to have a number of surgeries, and then finally their body would just accept the implants. So after a lot of thought and consideration, a lot of tears, I decided to have a third surgery. So that third surgery happened like 6 to 8 weeks after the second surgery. And within like another, 6 weeks of that surgery, it was obvious that it was happening again. But at this point, I was just finding out that I was just barely pregnant with my second child. So we decided not to do anything about it, just leave it as is. Mind you, the entire time my left implant was deformed from the surgeon trying to break up the scar tissue manually with his hands. So he broke the scar tissue, and then all of a sudden I had this one was shaped weird, and then like there was like bulging implant. You could like feel the implant bulging through. And then this one was just really hard. And so they didn't look symmetrical. They didn't feel good. I really, really disliked them. I did breastfeed my second baby with the implants in, which was difficult, especially with the left side being misshapen. It made it really hard for the baby to latch, and having harder implants underneath. It just made the breastfeeding more difficult, but we were able to do it, and I breastfed my baby for 10 and a half months, so we were able to do it. So there was no issues there with like milk production, I don't think, from the implants. Okay, so after I was finishing breastfeeding my baby, I knew that I was gonna have to go back to my surgeon and just have another talk with him, because I knew that things were wrong, and at this point I was not really considering having another surgery to keep my implants. I was really more just thinking I wanted them to be removed. So I had the implants removed January of 2017. It was about 6 months total after finishing breastfeeding my baby. So they recommend being done breastfeeding for at least 6 months before having a surgery like that. With the surgery, I had a full capsulectomy, so where they removed all of the scar tissue and the capsules and the implants, and I did not have a lift. So many women ask me if I've had a lift, and my surgeon and I decided that I did not need one. I also want to be able to breastfeed in the future if I choose to have more children, and my surgeon recommended not getting a lift because when you do a lift, they often have to cut around the nipple, which can detach your body's ability to express the milk that it will make. So I did not have a lift. Okay, so where are we now? So now I just want to kind of let you guys know how things are since things have healed. Those first like couple months, the skin has to tighten. The pain was annoying for the first, couple of weeks, but by 6 weeks post explant, I was lifting in the gym. I was back doing like my same weights. I felt really good. Things felt a little bit awkward with the muscle of my chest, but very quickly I could tell that they were tightening up. Everything was getting ready to just be used again. So really good news there. I didn't have any damage from my muscle from having the implants underneath them 3 times. So that's great. And then as far as like my scars go, they healed well. I have normal scars. My surgeon used the same scars for each surgery. So I do have really obvious noticeable scars, but it is what it is. There's really no way around that. Maybe they will fade with time. I did have a C-section with my first child, and the scar from that has healed really, really well over time. So I'm hoping that these scars will do the same. I did have drains in for 5 days after the surgery, and there is some scarring from where the tubes were sitting on my skin, so that left a little bit of scar. And then another thing that I noticed is from the tubes of the drains being inside on the bottom part of my breast, I have what's called an adhesion. So where my skin basically adhered to my chest wall from the sucking of the JP drain. So it sucked it in and it healed like that. So I have basically where the bottom part of my breast is like more attached to my chest wall than it should be. So I don't have as natural of a shape to either of my breasts. So that was one of my biggest disappointments with having the explant surgery, is that I don't have they don't even look as good or as normal as they did before I had implants ever put in. Granted, I had very little breast tissue to start with from breastfeeding a child and then being very lean for bikini competitions. So at this point, I don't even fit into a 32A. So when I get DMs from girls and they'll complain about how they don't fit into an A and they think they need implants, trust me girls, I got you. Like, I don't have anything to fit into, and it is what it is. I wear mostly sports bras. I wear just like really cute little bralettes, things that are really comfortable. I don't have a lot of issue where I need like a lot of support, so I don't really worry too much about like getting really good bras like that. I have tried every push-up bra from Victoria's Secret and I still don't have enough breast tissue. But if you have more breast tissue than me, which you probably do, especially if you have more body fat, you'll probably be able to totally work with what you have post explant. I just wasn't satisfied with how things looked with push-up bras and things like that, so I just kind of said, screw it, I don't even really care. And I'm just going with like the more like natural flat look, which is totally me anyway. I'm just more comfortable. I feel like it looks more athletic for me, and I've pretty much just embraced it at this point. It's something that it doesn't bother me nearly as much as I thought it would. So my skin took quite a few months. I would say like a good 3 or 4 months to really tighten up, and I think that it's still tightening up. Like, it's only been 10.5 months post explant, and if you've had a baby, you know that the skin on your tummy can take like a year to tighten up. So if you have an explant, just make sure you give yourself time and don't stress about the way that things look. At the same time though, the skin on my breasts were so, it was so stretched out from having implants and breastfeeding. Like, I don't even know how big they were during that phase, but probably like a triple D or more. And now I have not even an A. So you have to imagine, like, when your skin gets so stretched out and then it gets so empty, that there's going to be some sort of like, it's going to be somewhat wrinkled, or there could be stretch marks. There's just issues like that when you're changing sizes with things. So that's something to just expect and to just kind of be prepared for. I totally do have some wrinkling of my skin, and there and again, it is what it is. I am a mom with 2 kids, so I have what most women like to call mom boobs, and I'm totally at peace with that at this point. So yeah, so if you are a mom and you're expecting perfection post explant, just try to be mindful about what it is, and boobs take a toll. Like a huge toll is taken on our boobs when we are moms and when we do all of these things to our bodies, and it's just something I feel like that more women need to embrace. So another factor I wanted to touch on is the breast implant illness. So I personally didn't have, I don't really think I had any symptoms of breast implant illness, except that my body was rejecting the implants and forming scar tissue around them. I was having a lot of fatigue at that time, which I feel like is gone now. So if that has to do with the implants, then that could have been one of my symptoms. Otherwise, I was very lucky. I didn't have any leaking of my implants. But there are a lot of women who struggle and get very, 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 very sick from having implants in for too long. I only had mine in for 3 years total, and they were different implants. So the same implants weren't sitting inside my body for so long. But if you already know about implants, you know that it's important to have them switched out every 7 to 10 years. And the longer they're in your body, the more likely they are to break down. Your body can break down the outer layer of the implant. So even saline leaking into your body is okay, except that the outer layer of the saline implant is made with silicone, and that can be very toxic to a lot of women's bodies. And then if you have silicone implants and your body breaks down the outer layer, you are going to be spilling silicone into your chest wall and into your cavities, and that's terrible. That it causes like really, really bad illnesses. A lot of women will have symptoms of basically thyroid problems, autoimmune disorders, they'll have chronic fatigue, depression, hair loss, you name it. The list goes on and on about of the symptoms of breast implant illness, and so it makes it very difficult for doctors to diagnose. But if you have implants, just be very, very, very aware of what is going on in your body and how you're feeling. And if you start to feel like you're really sick and no one can tell you why, you might want to reconsider your breast implants. So another question I get a lot is, will I ever be putting my breast implants in again? So I will tell you, I competed in a bikini competition a few months ago, and it was hard to get on stage with no implants. I was one of the only girls on stage without implants, and it was hard. I know that it affected my overall look, and I did not place well at the competition. And I did know going into getting the explant that was probably going to be a factor, and that my implants or my lack of implants was going to possibly impede my competing. But it was still worth it to me because my health is more important than the bikini competition. So that's where I stand with that. And as of right now, I have no intentions of putting my breast implants back in, especially knowing how toxic they are to a huge majority of the women who have them. Some women are lucky and they don't see symptoms for a long time, but many women see complications from the surgeries or just from having the implants, and I've really just kind of made a stand personally that they're not worth it. So yeah, would I like to have better looking boobs, especially in a bikini where my job is to be modeling and doing bikini competitions? Sure, but my health is more important. So as of right now, no plans to put them back in. And then the last thing I want to talk about is self-confidence, self-esteem, and basically like how having my implants removed has affected my relationship with my husband or my marriage. You know, this is a tough thing. So I feel like one of the most dangerous things that women do is to place their confidence in certain aspects of their appearance, because our appearance changes over time, we change over time, our bodies change over time. What you think is your best quality, you may lose in a day. You know, if you think that your arms are your best quality and you get into a car accident and you lose your arms, where are you then? You know, I feel like it's important for us as women to believe in ourselves, to have confidence in so many different areas of ourselves, who we are inside, our minds, our hearts, our ability to do things for others. You know, beauty comes in so many different aspects, and if you feel like placing all your confidence in your breasts is okay, you may want to reconsider that. If you get implants and you think that, oh, your self-confidence problems are now fixed, and then you find out that your body's rejecting your implants and you have to have them removed, then where are you then? So that's something I just like to caution women, and just to remind women how beautiful they are with or without boobs. It doesn't matter. You know, God forbid anyone gets breast cancer, which happens way too often. But there again, you know, you just can't, you cannot focus too much on placing confidence in a body part. So thankfully my husband is amazing, and he just has been so supportive of me removing my breast implants, because he knew that they were a problem for me. They knew they were hard and painful and causing me issues. I couldn't even lay on my stomach. So he was really supportive of doing whatever I needed to do to make myself healthy. And he's been very, very supportive and loving of my appearance ever since having them removed. So it's not easy, you know, the first few months of like being naked in front of someone else, totally a little bit of a mind fuck. But I feel like it's something that over time you just start to get more comfortable with yourself, and the more that you accept your own body, the more others will accept it too. So ladies, have confidence in yourself. If you are finding that you need to remove your breast implants, go for it, and just do it in faith and know that everything is going to work out. and that you are beautiful and amazing and powerful without your implants. Thanks, everyone.